Me, may, my, moo.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I don't know, something, whatever. Now I feel like we're going like in order of ascending size, left to right. All right, let's get going. Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We're bringing you Transformers news from around the world because none of it really happens in Australia, but we're talking about it in Australia with Australian accents and Australian dollars, which means that if you don't understand Australian dollars, you're going to be very confused for the next hour. This is episode 212. We are recording live on Friday, the 8th of May, 2020. This is Australian Transformers Weekly's pandemic edition. There's new masterpieces coming. There's new Transformers films coming. There's a new Scorponok coming, and we're going to talk about all of that after this.
It's like in the young ones. It's a long story.
All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. It has been a couple of months since our last show. I mean, not much has happened around the world. And when I say not much has happened around the world, I mean not much has happened around the world because we've all been locked at home and not doing much. And to be honest, it's slowed down the stream of Transformers news. Welcome to the show. I'm Jason. Joining me tonight, we have Daria coming to us from Canberra. Say hi, Daria.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Daria, in Canberra. And
Bradley coming to us from over in Perth, stroking his ever longer beard.
Hello, Jason. Hello, everyone, and I hope you are going through quarantine well, or whatever it is.
So unlike most episodes of the show, now I have a beard to show off as well. And I've been indoors for 2 months. I mean, like it's not quarantine, it's lockdown. Like, you are allowed to go out, exercise. You're allowed to go out, pick up food. You're just not allowed to go out and
socialize.
Yeah, you are now, as of this last week, you are allowed to visit one person. One person is allowed to come over. I did have a good friend come over this week who has been suffering through quarantine. Like, I'm lucky, right? I get to work from home. I have a housemate who is also working, and my housemate leaves to go to work and then comes home. So I have someone to keep me sane. I've got 2 pets wandering around the house to keep me sane as well. A lot of people don't have that. So I've had some friends who've been struggling a little bit through quarantine and lockdown, and so I've started up a little bit of a social gathering in the apartments, and hopefully that'll become a semi-regular thing. We'll see what happens. But it's been okay for me. I'm well aware that I'm handling this better than other people, and so with that in mind, Daria, how have you been going?
Yeah, I've been managing. I actually got sick of something else at the start of quarantine, so
I remember this.
That was confusing.
Yeah, but it didn't turn out to be the thing.
No, it was very different from the thing, and because it completely floored me for about a week. That meant that when I could actually get up and move around the house, being confined to a single apartment was just huge compared to being stuck in bed for a week.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you sick of the single apartment now, though?
Not so much, but I have been going out to exercise. So while I haven't been socializing outside because of, social distancing, I've been able to go out and exercise where there aren't any people. So that's been something at least. And I too have a pet.
Bradley, how about yourself?
It's very unusual. I've been sort of long-term unemployed, so I'm used to staying around house. But now that it's become law to actually stay home, I've been going stir crazy, and I don't know why, but yeah, there it is.
Fair enough. No, because previously you had the option to go out and you were just choosing not to exercise it, right? But also, like, you're in Western Australia. Western Australia is being comparatively lightly hit compared to the eastern states, and like, you guys didn't actually have as bad a restriction as we did anyway.
Well, we had the typhoid ships floating around off the coast.
Yeah,
for a
no,
little
that's
while,
fine. We had the Ruby Princess, so like your typhoid ship doesn't count.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I think we've just hit 7 or 8 days with no new cases, so it's been pretty uneventful. But at the same time, borders still being closed and everything. But that's nationwide now, anyway.
So what's been going on also is what am I saying?
You're the one saying it, man.
I started a thought, and then I thought, oh man, I should do something, and then I started figuring out how to do something, and then I started mentally putting plans in place to do the thing, and then I was like, oh wait, I've stopped talking. What was I talking about? Oh gosh, I've completely forgotten. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's an early symptom of corona, isn't it?
No, I believe it's just an early symptom of being an old fart. But yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So during isolation, I have actually. So I started working from home a week before the rest of the country did. So like this is basically 2 months for me. This is the end of 8 weeks of working from home and sort of self-isolating and lockdown. And you would think perhaps the ISO beard might be a little bit fuller than it is, and that's because I got sick of it 3 weeks in and I shaved it off, and then I've been lazy the last 5 weeks, so it's back.
It looks good.
Oh, I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to get rid of it before this. I don't like it. Like the ISO beard has to go, and there's a couple of reasons why. And like we'll if you're listening to the podcast, like we'll stop talking about isolation shortly. The ISO beard has to go. There's a couple of main reasons. One, like I just don't really like. I don't like the feel of it. There's a couple of things I don't like when I get out of the shower and I wipe my face down. I don't like the fact that the bottom half of my face is still wet. And Bradley's just like nodding knowingly.
Well, I do my best to dry my beard right after the shower. Then I put my shirt on, I go sit down, and then suddenly I've got water drops on the front of my shirt. Like, hang on. Mm-hmm. Why does this thing keep still retaining water?
Now tell me if you identify with the second reason the ISO beard is going as well. I sit down in the morning to have breakfast before I do my torturous 15-meter commute to the study for work, and I will have a bowl of cereal or something, and I will lift the cereal from the bowl, and I'll place the spoon in my mouth, and while it's on the way, some stuff might fall off it, right? Like it's a bowl of cereal. This stuff happens. It doesn't land back in the bowl.
Oh.
Yeah, like it just gets caught, and like, yeah, I find the fact that it catches food is annoying. Like, it doesn't look particularly bushy on camera.
I was going to say, how the hell does that catch?
No. Like it doesn't look particularly bushy on camera. Like, there's a good sort of distance that it sticks out from my face, right?
Okay.
And so like I can sort of feel like there's a layer of stuff over my face. And also, I don't think this is the longest I've ever let it go without shaving it. So I will probably have to do that sometime this weekend. In other news of things that I've gotten sick of during isolation, I think we've all talked about how we're sick of our apartments. Maybe not Bradley. Bradley's not that sick of his apartment.
No, mine's fantastic.
It's your regular palatial mansion.
Yeah.
I decided I am sick of this apartment, so we're moving.
Really?
If you recall, when I moved in here last year, I was not very happy with the place. It's old. There is no insulation, and Sydney has had a cold snap. Last weekend, Sydney had a cold snap, and the overnight temperature went down to about 10 degrees. And I've had to place extra blankets on the bed, and I've had to turn on heaters. The circuit breakers go off when too many heaters are turned on, and it's all bullshit.
That doesn't sound good at all. It sounds like you're in something like a Big Brother endurance test or something.
Do you want to talk about Big Brother? Because like. I mean, it's the pandemic edition. You've seen the ads for Big Brother coming back to TV, right?
Oh God, really?
Yeah. So Channel 7 is doing Big Brother now, and they're making out that Big Brother is like a malevolent AI now. And here's the rub. Here's the rub about Big Brother 2020. Yeah. It's already been filmed.
Oh well, they did that with the other Big Brothers, didn't they?
No, like the other ones were live. Like,
Oh yeah, that's right, they were.
Put people out each week and stuff.
yeah, they kick people out. But it's already been filmed. They've already crowned a winner, and they did it. They filmed it all in advance because they thought that it would give them an opportunity to edit footage to make things more exciting. But then there's also been reports that the producers are really unhappy with the housemate selection this season because it's boring.
Well, let me ask you this though: when it comes to Big Brother, are there ever any really real winners?
I don't know. I mean, like Hot Dogs did well.
Well, yeah,
For people,
I remember Hot Dogs.
People who might be unfamiliar, Hot Dogs was the I think he had a real name. I don't know. It was like Darren.
Yeah, well, I'd hope so.
Hot Dogs was a contestant on one of the earlier seasons of Big Brother when it was back on 10 years ago. And I think he went on to host a late night chat show. When I say chat show, he went on to host one of the late night puzzle shows that we don't do anymore.
The puzzle shows. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Should we talk about some Transformers?
Please, yes.
Are there Transformers to talk about? I haven't acquired any new Transformers in isolation. Daria, have you?
I did just before isolation, and I got me from Earthrise. I got me a wheeljack and a hoist. So I got me some engineers.
Bradley, yourself?
Yeah, I've gotten a couple. I've gotten Siege Ultra Magnus finally.
He's good.
Not the barbecue edition from Netflix.
No, God, no. the unpainted prototype from Netflix. No. I've gotten Earthrise Optimus Prime, who's over there standing in his trailer. I have also gotten I keep forgetting his name. The parts former, Ironworks.
Ironworks, yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten him. He's still in his box. Can't be bothered opening him.
You should get him out. People quite like Ironworks. The reason I ask you is like I haven't actually acquired any new Transformers, but I have unpacked a lot of things. So, like
just
I say,
so you
we've
can pack them back up.
Well, yes.
That.
We decided that we wanted to leave about last weekend, and so we've been looking at places. But before that, I was fully ready to actually go out and buy some new shelves and sort of do an extra display. But if we're going to move, then I'll do that when we've moved. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But so consequently, there's a bunch of stuff hanging around my study. I've been selling a bunch of things because there's been a bunch of things that I've wanted to sell for ages. And like amazingly enough, I've actually been able to sell Transformers in isolation. And like I run up to the post office once a week. I stay in the post office as short a time as possible, post some boxes, and I'm off. So yeah,
nice.
I sold a couple of little past deluxe Optimuses.
I believe I saw that list. Yes.
I've the other new acquisition is Ape Face, but you were snotty with me when I got this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's not a good toy.
He's pretty cool. He just feels like
pulling off an animal there.
He looks and feels like he's made out of either soap or candle wax, but other than that, he's okay.
Yeah, I've heard about his weird waxy finish. I don't know what that's about.
It's just the white is not. It's unlike. It's not white. It's weird. It's very
and
very.
they've accidentally shipped him made of prototype material. It's like it can happen to all big toy companies. I don't know.
Maybe I'm pretty sure something would have come up about that though.
Speaking of things that are shipping or might be shipping soon, shall we? Let's go on to some news, shall we?
Yeah, there's Ape Face with his ape face on.
Ape Face has been ape faced.
Yeah,
Ape Face is a character I got a weird relationship with, in that I want him, but only if I know I can get Snapdragon as well.
Yeah,
He's
well, I've got the G1 versions of these guys, and I'm looking forward to getting. Is it the Earthrise that's getting Snapdragon?
We don't know. Do we?
Yeah, he's been announced. He's being shown.
Well, then it must be Earthrise.
Yeah.
And they're sort of, last I heard, they kept faffing about if he was going to be a select or just a regular release.
I think he's going to be a regular release.
Oh,
they haven't actually announced that many selects at the moment. There was the cassette 4-pack. Oops, I've just I've just put my foot on the dog, who's now upset with me. There's the Generation Select cassette 4-pack, but I don't think they've announced many more.
I think the Ultra Megatron was the newest, and even around then.
He is a Japanese Generation Select, so not the Hasbro Pulse one.
Oh, okay. Well, I just saw him advertised at the Hasbro Pulse, and I thought he was Generation Select.
Oh, is he on Hasbro Pulse as well? Oh,
yeah, I think he is Japanese, but Hasbro Pulse had an opening to get the Japanese one.
That's pretty normal. So, like, both companies are custodians of the Transformers brand, and so both of them produce things called Generation Selects, which is yes. So yes, you are quite right. Pulse is listing Super Megatron. Now, we talked about Super Megatron last time we were on. Last time we did a broadcast, and I was pretty down on him,
and I was pretty up on him.
Yeah,
I think he looks pretty awesome.
Well, so to update that story, I've now pre-ordered him.
Me too.
So I pre-ordered it. It went up at a really good price at Omo Primus in Singapore, and their shipping to Australia is very reasonable when there's no pandemic. Hopefully by the time Super Megatron comes out, the pandemic will be done and they will be able to ship him to me. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, no, like all up, he's coming in at about $90 shipped. So that's pretty good.
I'll have to check them out, because there's a few coming up that I want that might not be exactly just pick off the shelf purchases.
Yeah, do.
I went with Jason's recommendation, and when I got it, it was a couple of dollars dearer, but I don't know if that was an exchange rate thing or if they put their price up by $1 or $2. But
it's possible. It's still
still cheap.
EB Games and Zing did put Super Megatron up for pre-order as well. I think there was about a 1-week pre-order period. Price $120. Still a pretty good price for bringing what is a fairly exclusive figure from both of these places into Australia and just making it available for you to walk into a store and pick it up. But as we'll talk about a little while, like, those prices are generally much more expensive than they would be if you buy it from other places. This has also happened with the Generation Select Seacons.
Isn't it because they're buying from a supplier, they're selling it, so they have to add their own?
No, they're getting Zing and EB are getting their stuff from Hasbro Australia. That's how their stock works. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, at least they are bringing these things in and putting them up for sale. Like, there's a good chunk of the community will be more than happy to buy from them. I've still got my Unicron on pre-order from EB as well. So this time next year we should all be Unicroned up. We'll see how we go.
It's still August, isn't it?
I thought it was February next year.
No, I think it's August. I think it's end of next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm going to load that page quietly, and it's not so quietly because I'm talking about it. But what's it say? Early 2021.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know
forward.
Early sounds like August, but no, I always thought it was February, but yeah. Anyway, okay.
Maybe some distributor was hedging their bets.
Probably. I mean, look, who can tell what's going to happen in the next 12 months at the moment, anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some news. New news. Also, in terms of upcoming figures, I'll bring this in, and bam, there you go. Earthrise Titan class Scorponok. He's this year's Titan. You know what? Maybe they won't do a Titan next year because they'll be busy making Unicrons. Earthrise Titan class Scorponok has started to leak out of the factory, and people have started to post in-hand images of him. So my personal favorite of the images are the ones showing him sort of side by side with the other Titans. So he does stand a good head and shoulders above Devastator, as you can see here. And there's also like pretty nice photos that have coming out with him holding Earthrise Prime, recreating a few classic poses. I have seen some criticism that people think the head is about 10% too large. What do you guys think?
I think it's I think it's the very first Scorponok figure that's actually had an in-scale head, because G1 Scorponok, of course, tiny head.
Yeah, I
Botcon
think
Scorponok was a tiny head as well, but this one is looking... I think it's just because people aren't used to seeing Scorponok with an in-scale head. That's all it is.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. That it looks large for Scorponok's head, but if you had never seen Scorponok before, excuse me, then that would look just right. And to that extent, it does look just right to me. And in some of his character art back in the past, where they didn't have to fit in toy engineering, his head was closer to in proportion like that.
I wonder if the criticisms of the size of the head are actually based on the size of the head versus the face. Like, the face looks pretty right to me, but the head looks like the head's twice as tall as the face.
Well, I mean, he's wearing a helmet.
Well, also, I mean, he is in this case as well, and also like because his head does transform as well. So
yeah,
fair enough.
The first and won't be the last Transformer to have a face that only comes halfway up their head. To me, that's just what some Transformers' faces look like. It doesn't bother me. I mean, that was one of the mentioned items that I'd all able to get.
So he is a tad shorter than the older Titans in Metroplex, and I think I'm not sure.
This guy didn't have Fort Max to compare him, so no.
But I mean, Fort Max and Metroplex are much the same thing anyway. So they're sort of the older style Titans were a little bit larger, but the newer ones are bulkier and have a little bit more impressive engineering on them. So yeah, fair enough.
I didn't realize until I saw these comparison photos just how tiny Predaking is. Like I was looking at him in my collection the other day. I was like, Jesus, he's the smallest Titan class toy around.
Well, so he's about the same size as Devastator, though. I mean, they're both combined as made up of Voyager class figures. And so, like, that kind of makes sense. Like, Devastator's head's up to about the Decepticon logo on his chest there, and so is Predaking's. So, you know, Predaking, also a character with a giant head above his face, but yeah.
There's also another feature. I don't know if he's shown this in the photos, but as you're transforming Scorponok's head, his visor, he actually has eyes behind his visor, and they just look absolutely amazing. I don't know if there's a photo of them here.
Yeah, I saw that in the video of you. His head and his headbutt in general does look nice and chunky.
Yeah.
It does. In fact, it does sort of show here that the helmet is indeed a helmet around the headbutt. So yeah.
There's also it was theorized that maybe because the visor's just held on by a screw, so you might be able to unscrew that. So if you want a really different looking Scorponok,
if you want Scorponok to look like someone's ripped half of his face off, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or do you mean the actual red visor?
The red visor is just one separate piece held in by a screw.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just a really nice little feature with the eyes there. It looks really cool.
And some versions of him draw him with two eyes. So if you were married to that particular interpretation, you could fiddle a bit and make it so.
It's true. I have seen that. Yeah. I actually quite like him. There's a bit of criticism of him going around. Like these, it's been a while since we've been on the air. So these photos have done the rounds for a bit of time. There's some I sort of dislike how hollow his feet are. Here, like that seems ripe for someone to make some gap filling upgrade kits. Personally, I
think that's just a sort of a necessary evil with the transformation process.
Maybe it is, but there's one thing that I know is that they have amazing engineers that can build an $800 Unicron, and I'm sure, they could engineer around this. But yeah,
they were all designing that while this was being designed.
yeah, they were busy, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So fair enough. He does have some impressively tilt-worthy ankles. The more I see this guy, the more I like him, and I look forward to his release. It'll probably be released. I think he's coming mid-year. He'll probably end up being $250, $299, just like Omega Supreme. I look forward to purchasing him for $180 at the inevitable Amazon sale.
Yeah, that would definitely be one to watch out for with the Amazon dropping price.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm aware that the $180 I paid for Siege Amiga Supreme is not the cheapest that he was at Amazon, but now I've got a barometer for that. So when it does come up for a cheap price, I can jump at that. My buy price for Titans has sort of been $150, but maybe I've had to revise that upward a little bit the last couple of years. So
yeah, that's pretty unrealistic. 150 unless it's like, wasn't Triptychon going for like $30 or $50 in some stores?
You were able in some stores to lie and get Triptychon super cheap. But in general, so I tried it. It never worked for me. I did get Triptychon for $150 though.
Oh, well, there you go. But going back onto Scorponok, this looks like the I know I've been saying this a lot with the releases in the latest lines, but this is looking to be the champagne version of G1 Scorponok.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Look, I mean, just looking at him here, I really like the details. I really like the paint applications. The bright orange really sticks out where they've used it on his body. It really highlights parts really well. The grey parts that are sort of looking a little bit metal, especially the parts on his arms and on his claws, like that. It all just comes up really nicely. I'm really quite happy with it.
He looks nice and chunky and beefy, and that's something can't be said of some of the earlier Titans with their little waists and long legs. This guy is chunky all the way down and looks like the sort of guy Scorponok was often said to be, like when in the versions where he was like a retired gladiator and stuff.
Yeah, he's a bit like he looks like a big hulking brute. So yeah.
You also bring up a good point with I can't think of who will be the next few Titan class figures,
unless they go to, I don't know, any leftover combiners.
There's the train bots from Japan, but I don't think they're big enough to be considered.
Well, they're already coming as masterpieces anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I don't know. Because it does bring up an interesting question as to who's next for the Titan figures, and I wonder if the next year there might not be a Titan figure. We might get 2 commander classes instead.
Well, I'm thinking because all the Titan class toys we have at the moment, they have their opposites out now. Like Metroplex has Triptychon, Fort's got Scorponok now, and it's like, oh well. Actually,
Devastator and Predking, no, but they're the combiners. They don't necessarily count as those. But
there hasn't been an Autobot combiner yet.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still feel that it might be, especially that we're probably heading into a period of relative austerity in terms of purchasing toys. Maybe it will be maybe there won't be a Titan series figure for a while.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's see. The commander class kind of feels like they were testing the waters in going one class down but still keeping them big.
I think so. I think commander classes worked out well. I think Jetfire topped a lot of people's best toy of 2019 list. So I'm really interested to see how Skylynx is received this year.
Well, yeah, sorry. Go on.
Well, I think there's a chance that Skylynx will be equally as well received this year.
Well, yeah, he's another one of the ones I definitely would like to get. And I think if there weren't the commander class, I would have guessed him as the next Titan, but he's getting a commander class toy, so maybe that's their next for characters that are big but not that big.
Yeah, I think so. Look, it's hard to say. We don't really know what's going to go on with the toy line over the next couple of years. So.
Yeah, you might be right. They might just not do Titans for a while because, I mean, I remember for a while Supreme size figures were going to be the big thing, literally, and bigger. And well, then they made Beast Machines Cheetor and never went there again.
Oh, that was I don't have that one, but yeah, that was horrible. Like you see the Beast Machines line up, and you're like, yeah, that was cool, and you just see like Cheetor is like nearly as tall as Fort Max. He's like well over 1.5 feet tall, and it's like that just doesn't look right.
And well, for anyone who didn't get him at first, he was pretty easy to get for a while because he was a freaking shelf warmer for a good few years.
I thought you were going to say for a good reason, but yes.
Well, yeah.
So, the Titan class Scorponok, is he on your purchase list?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We have a hat trick of yeses. I believe that means we have agreement. Alarm bells and klaxons have just gone off at Hasbro HQ, and they are full steam ahead with getting Scorponok into Australia. Well done.
Yeah, definitely. There we go. You're welcome, Australia. We got Scorponok here for you.
We did it. We did it.
If Hasbro want to send us all review copies, then we're cool with that.
Yeah, I can dust off the review area and get a new review going on, I guess.
Hasbro has no idea that we exist, but that's okay. Yeah.
Michael Bay knows we exist, though. Don't take that from me.
It's really weird. Okay, let's move on from Scorponok and let's talk about another figure that has a figure that's been announced. Kind of came out of nowhere, but we are getting a red companion to Sunstreaker, but it is not the red companion to Sunstreaker that you think it will be. We're not getting a new Sideswipe. We are just getting a red version of Sunstreaker. He is, we are talking about Masterpiece Sunstreaker, probably one of the best Masterpiece figures in the last few years as well. He's very, very versatile, very posable, and a lot of fun. He's already been repainted once as Masterpiece Corden. And here comes the second repaint. We're getting a red version of him called Spin Out. Now, no one really has too much of a problem with it. And we know that Takara loves to reference the original toys that became Transformers with Diaclone-coloured repaints of Masterpiece toys. And that is indeed what this guy is, because Sunstreaker's original Diaclone toy was red.
And so, also, if there's a reason to recolor a Masterpiece, they'll find it.
Oh yeah,
I feel like they've been going easy on the repaints recently, but then we've just had like a slew of pluses, and they're not stopping. And this is indeed a plus. This is 39 plus, and so yeah, we do know that if there's a reason to recolor, they'll do it, and they will often use the Diaclone colors as a reason for them.
Yeah,
this is actually the second yellow figure to be redone as a red one, the first one being Bumblebee as well. As, of course, we remember the red Bobby Bumblebee when we all wanted a cliff jumper, who still has failed to materialize.
And you're not bitter about that at all.
Yeah. Well, I've got Tumblr.
This is so much the sort of thing they do that, honestly, until this announcement, I just kind of assumed they'd already done it.
Yeah. So Spin Out is he's a regular release. He's not like a mall exclusive or anything. So his pre-orders are going up everywhere. He is going to come to EB and Zing. He will be released at those stores at a price of $240. Thank you for
That's
the
the usual. That's the usual now, though, isn't it?
Well, so it does feel like Zing's prices have gone up on Transformers. I will point out that while he's $240 at Zing, if you were to go to a website like RoboToys, you will find him for $170. That's a $70 saving. And RoboToys will ship within Australia for like $10 or $12. So I think Zing's shipping in Australia is about $6. I'm looking forward to getting Unicron shipped for $6. Like you've got multiple options to get him. He is on pre-order at the moment. He looks amazing. I really do love it. Like it is. Oh, actually, has he got? He's actually still got the yellow next to his head, like Sunstreaker. So like he looks great. He's a lovely recolor. I really like the Sunstreaker mold. So like I'm more than happy to get it again in red. Yeah, like I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, looks cool. I'm just wondering if he comes with a recolor of Chip Chase.
Unknown. Unknown. Did Sunstreaker come with Chip?
Yeah.
Did he?
Original? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came with a Chip Chase.
Those guys are always hanging out together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, is Masterpiece Spin Out on your purchase list?
Nope.
No, I wouldn't turn him down, but he's not on my must-buy.
He's on mine. I just want to point out also the windows. Are the windows clear or are they red? They look red in this shop, but
they're clear there. Well, I mean,
maybe the chest windows are red.
There's nothing else. There's no other color variation there really, other than a bit of black, but that's on the outside of the windows.
Yeah, no, I think they're just tinted black. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think they look red because he's so very, very red.
It's very true. He's on my purchase list. I am going to avail myself of.
I thought you would have pre-ordered him already.
I have not, because it's isolation. All the days blend into one into the next. There's no longer Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We now just have day. So yeah, no, I've been remiss in pre-ordering a bunch of figures at the moment. Actually, I'll have to get on. So we're going to move on from Masterpiece figures, and we're going to talk about a new movie. Now, how long has it been since Bumblebee came out? Was Bumblebee 2017 or 2018?
End of 2018, I think. I saw it in January 2019.
Okay. So Bumblebee, it's been 18 months since the last Transformers movie hit cinemas, and we're yet to actually, until now, have news about the next one. So Michael Bay is definitely off as far as directors go. He's not coming back. He might still produce. That's fine. He produced Bumblebee, but as far as the future of the Transformers cinematic franchise, all bets are off. We could be getting anything. So we do know that there has been said to be a Beast Wars film in the works. And now this week we've got news that there is an animated prequel in the works as well. Now, we don't necessarily know what it's a prequel to. Whether it's a prequel to Bumblebee or if it's a prequel to the Bay films. I think we're all hoping that it's a prequel to Bumblebee, and that we're going to get sort of the first 5 minutes of the actually it was more like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the Bumblebee film writ large, with a large animated a big scale animated movie sort of before the I guess before the end of the war went to shit and they all flew away to go to Earth. So it does beg the question of what they're going to do. We don't really know yet. What we do know is that they've hired Josh Cooley. Now, Josh Cooley might not be someone that you're that familiar with. He is the director of Toy Story 4, which is a movie that if you haven't seen Toy Story 4, Toy Story 4 is an animated sequel film to a much loved trilogy that has no right to be as good as it is. It was really good. I really enjoyed Toy Story 4. Now, he's the director. Responsibility doesn't completely rest with him, but there's there's people have worked on the script, the animators have worked on the designs and everything, but still, like, the buck does tend to stop with the director as well. So it will be very interesting to see. I'm not very familiar with his other work, so it will be interesting to see what we end up with. They've only announced it now. It's probably going to be another couple of years until this would be released. There doesn't appear to be a time frame given. Although I am just clicking through to the Deadline story to see if they gave one.
When I saw originally when it was announced, it said prequel. I actually thought it was going to be a prequel to the G1 animated show because of this picture that we're looking at has the G1 Autobot logo on it.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. So I think it's interesting. Like, this is a good kind of a project to work on during a pandemic, because you don't need to necessarily assemble a cast and crew together to do it. You might be able to actually get some work on this remotely. Although I think there's a lot of animated productions that have also shut down during the pandemic. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse changed their release date to 2022, and so it does say. It doesn't really say anything about dates on. It doesn't say anything about dates on Deadline. Deadline says it takes place on Cybertron, and the film revolves around the relationship between Optimus Prime and Megatron, because goodness knows we've never seen that explored before. Now, there is actually a script at the moment that has apparently been written by the writers of Ant-Man and some of the writers of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I didn't mind those films either. I thought they were pretty good. So Cooley would be overseeing a final draft now, according to Deadline. And so if that's at script level, like, it's going to be a while before that's animated. Mm-hmm. However, I also wonder whether or not the work that was done to build the animated Cybertron for Bumblebee gives them a bit of a head start, and maybe some of the character designs that gives them a bit of a head start too.
Yeah, when you said it delves into relationship between Megatron and Optimus, I was just picturing a Cybertronian version of The Odd Couple.
I think it's more like mother and son.
Yeah, that too.
I say Optimus. So here's a question for you guys. What would you like to see in an animated prequel movie? And what would you like to be a prequel to? Who would you like to see?
I could do without another "and this is how the war started" story. Because I think we've had a few of those over the past few years, and not that they're necessarily. And I think we're getting another one with the Netflix show. So I think
actually no. So no, the Netflix show is set in the last days of the war on Cybertron, because it's as they leave Cybertron for Earth.
Oh yeah, wrong end. But nonetheless, we have seen a bunch of them the past few years, and not that they've been bad stories, but we're kind of the same course over thing. I think
variations on a theme.
Probably just drop us in and either tell us briefly or just assume we know that Transformers are at war. It's what they do. We don't need another soul search to find out the cause this time, so we can just go straight into.
If you'll allow me to, I'm just going to come by and dip my fly in your ointment. They have not done one on the big screen, so well ripe to do that on the big screen, because if you don't do it on the big screen, people haven't seen it, right?
Yeah, good point.
I agree. I think one of the best things that's happened in cinematic retellings of stories is when Marvel brought Spider-Man into the MCU. They didn't bother doing an origin story because, like, you already know. And I think by this time people should already know that Transformers are at war, because they have been for 30 years. So, I mean, 4 million years, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just when they said prequel, like I said, I thought G1 cartoon. So I'd like to see a prequel G1-esque Cybertron movie.
Well, so that's an interesting question, right? Because we've heard animated Transformers prequel. We've all seen the CGI at the start of Bumblebee. Maybe they are actually working on a 2D G1 style animated movie. I mean, it's certainly not. It's not exactly in Cooley's wheelhouse, having just done like a CGI spectacle in Toy Story 4. But maybe they are.
Well, I mean, we still don't know. It's all speculation at the moment. They just said animated prequel movie.
Yeah. So we'll find out. We'll see. I think it would be an odd case of Paramount suddenly embracing the G1 cartoon and holding it close to their hearts if this were to happen. But let's keep hope alive, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're going to take a quick look at some of the scans from Figure King magazine. This is sort of like a regular monthly or bi-monthly thing that happens. They take pretty pictures of upcoming toys, and we all swoon over them for a little while.
Swoon.
So, commence swoon mode. How many of us have pre-ordered Super Megatron? Did we say all of us?
No, I missed the Zing one, which was the one I was going to do, so I might have looked at the other one. But
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. I mean, like, you know what really should? Well, maybe not. I was going to say we should just combine all of our shipping from the same store, but then we'd have to ship it within Australia, and it wouldn't really save that much anyway. So so we are looking at Super Megatron. He is, of course, as we know, a repaint of Titan's Return Galvatron, which initially had me quite cold on the figure, but he does look much better.
He's been retooled a lot.
He has, but he also hasn't. Like, we saw the initial silhouettes of this, like, I think a year ago, and everyone immediately locked onto the legs and went, "It's Titan's Return Galvatron." It was very easy. Like the chest and the upper body have been, but there's still quite a lot of the original figure in there, I think.
Is this still a Titan Master? Or is he all one head now?
I do not know because I don't know if I can zoom into the. I'm going to work this out.
Because we've got two pictures of the face in this picture here. One at the top, one at the bottom, and the one at the bottom looks very different. So I
reckon you are looking at a Titan Master there, mate.
You reckon?
I reckon you are. Can you actually see my mouse on here? You should be able to.
Yeah.
I reckon we're looking at.
There, yeah.
I reckon we're looking at a Titan Master with a helmet.
Yeah, very different colors.
Well, it's the line around it, and so you can see that on the main shot of the figure there, and
then we got the Ultra Megatron face,
rotating face thing.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's got a rotating face instead of a Titan Master. Maybe you just flip up the head and then flip the face around and then flip the head back down.
But there's been a few of those over time with things like the changing expressions on some of them, or a handful of Blitzwings.
I need to confess that I'm not that au fait with the origins of Super and Ultra Megatron, but like, doesn't the face here look like the Last Knight?
He looks like who was it in Bumblebee? It was Blitzwing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The guy who de-voiced him, that was Blitzwing.
Yeah, that's what that face there looks like to me.
Yeah. So is this an accurate depiction of Ultra Megatron?
No, it was just pretty much the G1 cartoon model with some beefy bits.
Oh, so 4 points to whoever can identify what the text under this image says. And to do this in hilarious fashion, I am going to grab Google Translate, point it at my screen, and see what it comes up with.
Okay. There's also, if this were still a Titan Master, I'm pretty sure we'd see pictures of the Titan Master as well in this layout.
There's something about it being alien.
Okay, wait. Too small. Yeah, it does say alien. It says Ultra Mega Toro, the acid part of the Korean aliens change into a chair.
No, because
so good at the start.
The way Ultra Megatron is created, an alien life force takes over Galvatron's body and reformats into Super Megatron. And then when he gets defeated, he becomes Ultra Megatron. So that's probably what that face is. Ultra pissed off alien deity Megatron.
Oh, yeah, the next one up.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm not sure why that's Korean Megatron aliens, but yes.
I wouldn't mind seeing. Was it Megatron chair?
Yeah. There was a chair in there and a bear as well. Later on in the show, there will be people with games and stories to tell.
I can read the katakana, but the rest is just A, too small, and B, probably words I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks,
Google Translate has amused us for a minute. So it's good. Okay. No, it's fine. It did all right. It produced enough of a translation for us to talk about it. So, yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the business at hand with Figure King scans, because there's more I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna open this image in a new tab because now we can see it. So there is a bit of a look at some of the Netflix series. I think I figured out why the Netflix cartoon has weird color versions of these toys.
Their files were corrupted.
Yeah, and like if you watch HDR content on a normal TV screen that doesn't support HDR, you get a bunch of weird color defects, and I think that's what's happened when they've sent masters of the series over to Hasbro to look at to make toys, and Hasbro's put them on a non-HDR monitor and just gone, shit, we need to make a purple version of Mirage, and the animators
we also
are like,
need to make him a Decepticon.
yeah, well, I mean, it's blurry, but I think the animators might have then just gone, what the fuck? The Mirage is blue. Oh, they're already starting to produce it. Quick, change the color of Mirage in the show. So yeah, and then further to that, I don't understand why they haven't touched Hound's colors.
No, is it just like he doesn't have the scratching for the War for Cybertron Siege?
That's right. He doesn't actually. The colors are a little bit lighter. They're much more like his G1 figure. But yeah, you're right. Like, no, I think he does. He doesn't have the scratching that he had in Siege, but he does have the weird soot that all of the figures have in Netflix Siege. It's like high definition battle damage or something. I don't know. It's HDR battle damage.
They think we're a lot more interested in battle damage than most of us actually are.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm not going to say there's never been good battle damage decorations, but toy companies really rave about it to a point beyond my interest in it.
Mm.
Yeah, yes, it's true. So we are also looking at this is Double Dealer, isn't it?
Yep. Or Clouder, if you're the Japanese oriented one.
I think he's actually Double Dealer in Japan this time.
Oh, okay, well there you go.
Yeah, and so
it is. The red text under his leg says Double Dealer.
All right.
Just look for the big pair of legs with the Double Dealer between them. Is that right, Brad? So yeah, Double Dealer. He's leader class, I believe, is he, or is he going to be bigger than that? Yep. So leader class. So that means that the figure that we're looking at there is really about Voyager size. So that's about the size of Optimus Prime. Good amount of detail on that, though. Look, unless maybe he's not. Maybe he is actually a genuine leader class figure. Maybe he's not actually a Voyager with armor this time around.
He's not. He is actually a leader class toy, and he doesn't have any of that snap-on armor. This is just the first time I've seen the faction gimmick on him. He's got shoulder covers.
I saw that. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
He doesn't come with his guys, but his guys will be in a combat 2-pack, so which is a great way to sell the combat bots for people who are character completists.
Yeah,
like me, I'll be getting that pack then, because I legit didn't think we were getting those toys, but it'll be nice to get them as well.
I think they're recolors or retools of the cassettes of the approximate same shape. I think
that will make sense.
Is recolor, maybe a retool of Ratbat, and the other is the same of Frenzy / Rumble.
Yeah,
that'll be pretty sweet. Yeah,
sounds
cool.
Sounds good. Let's go to the next page, which does have some also interesting looks at some more figures. This one should look good.
Hello.
There we go. Yeah. Snapdragon. There's a couple of Studio Series figures over to the left. One of the movieverse wreckers, as they've come to be known there. I'm sure Brad will be keeping an eye out for that one. I think we have already talked about that one a few months ago, though. I think this is just the Takara Tomy release of it.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned him recently.
Yeah, that's Roadbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of new Micromasters there, and if we head down a bit here, so we've got two things that are interesting to look at here. One, the Cyberverse Deluxe figures are finally making their way to Japan, except without Bumblebee, which is weird. And second is another look at Masterpiece RC. Mm-hmm. Now, this this is quite interesting. This adds a little bit more to the mystery of RC. One, you can see she's got much more articulated hands than even the newer masterpieces have. So she's got at least one movable finger there, so she can put her finger on her hip. And
well, the other hand looks like they're all bent in some kind of claw arrangement or something.
It's the claw, but I think you can see that the index finger is individually movable.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think the rest probably just hinge open like the rest of the hands. So the other notable thing is there is a holster with a gun in it. That's new. We haven't seen that before. The other interesting thing about this is, there's two other interesting things. One is the backpack looks like one hell of a mess. But like the backpack was always going to look like a mess for this figure, but wow. And the other thing is that despite most people asserting that the torso was mistransformed in the initial photos, they have indeed stuck with it.
Yeah. Because someone had a collage of her. I think it may have been from this magazine up earlier today, and it was the first time you really got a look at the chest, and it just looks very, disjointed.
Well, and her turtleneck thing looks like her collar starts, halfway down her bust.
Yeah.
So there's still something that
She's
looks
gotten
like
droopage. Okay, let's not bring it up too much. She's gotten a bit of droopage.
there is still what looks like a hinge on the front. In like the turtleneck thing, I almost feel like it looks like she's wearing a scarf.
But normally it's just like a collar and would stop at about where her collarbone would be if she had one. But this one goes a long way down.
It depends on the version of RC that you're looking at. Like it differs over the years, but it does seem that this design is preferred by Takara and this does match previous RCs that they've done as well.
This one must have been a challenge given the Masterpiece's current thing is to as closely match the animated version as possible. But the animated version was designed with a transformation scheme that just simply won't translate to a physical form without that huge backpack or actual shape changing parts, which we haven't invented yet.
That's right.
So it's going to end up on the back.
There's some interesting engineering on the knees, and there's also a bit of a question about what's going to happen with those legs, whether they're just solid pieces that are going to fold up, or there does seem to be some lines on them for some things, and so I feel like some part of the legs might come apart during the transformation. We will find out. The knee design for this figure does look particularly impressive, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Although we do know that Takara has struggled with knees.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Generations RC looks pretty good, and those legs are just literally they're folded up to the front and then sort of bent down towards the back, so they run the whole length of the car. So it could be something similar with this.
Maybe we'll see. The one thing I am looking forward to for this over the Generations figure is that I assume this will not be as hard to stand up.
Oh yeah, that too.
Although there is a significant backpack on the back, so
yeah. Well, that's the main reason the Generations one is hard to stand up, because of her backpack, and
that's true.
She has very dainty feet.
This one has at least as much and pushes it all to the top, which is going to make it even more unbalanced in terms of weight.
Actually, so if the legs are solid, I wonder if the legs might end up being die cast, because that might actually counterbalance the weight.
Might do.
Some parts of the legs might be die cast in order to offset that. But I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, but we'll see. All right, that is enough figure kingage for us to go in with for tonight. Let's move on. We are almost at an hour into the show, and we do need to finish off a couple more stories.
I will just add, for anyone who's listening only in audio, the picture of RC we saw is doing what they now call the Hawkeye pose.
The Hawkeye pose.
Hawkeye pose?
Oh, okay. I'll explain a little footnote here. There's a lot of comic covers where they do the female characters looking all shapely and trying to have their butt pointing towards the camera, their boobs sticking out to the side for maximum boobage and their face trying to face the reader, which is a difficult pose to obtain.
Actually, too.
Yeah, and what they start, a bunch of fans and artists start to illustrate how ridiculous this really was by drawing Hawkeye, like the guy from the Avengers, in the same pose. And every they like recreate covers, only instead of whichever character was there before, they put Hawkeye and do various things to emulate, to show how ridiculous it was, and all the things associated with that. And RC is, and because it became so associated with doing Hawkeye to illustrate that point, it became known as the Hawkeye pose, even when it's not Hawkeye doing it. And RC is definitely doing that here.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, I do want to point out something that I think I've just noticed about this. We've sort of looked at this backpack and just gone, right, that's a bit of a mess. That's a big chunky backpack. I actually think that what we're looking at here, I think the first wheel arch that you can see behind her, I think that's actually behind her back.
Yeah.
I think that's actually folded up quite compact into the middle, and then the larger struts that hang out the back, I don't think there's much in them.
That's the front of her car mode, and I think we've got the front of the car mode at the top, and then we've got the other wheel arches on her back wheel arches, and I think it looks pretty impressive.
Pulls it under, and then
I look, that backpack might not look as messy as we think it does from this angle. It might be a little bit more impressive. We'll see how it goes.
It's probably the next few months. Probably very fiddly when you first transform it, but it probably looks good, and once you learn it, it's all good.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We've got a bit of third-party news to get to. Not too much, just a little bit. So we have...
See, I thought you would have done this story after Scorponok.
Well, so it's the second Scorponok story of the night. Transform Elements is making a Legend-scale Beast Wars Scorponok. There are a couple of photos up doing the rounds online. Now, Transform Element does have... look, my Beast Wars is not good. Who's the other character there?
Rat Trap.
Is that a Rat Trap?
That's right.
Yes, it is.
That might be Generations Rat Trap.
It does look like Rat Trap.
Yeah.
Oh, so I thought that was actually another one of theirs. So that's a Generations figure, is what you're saying.
Oh, so that's Scorponok, probably deluxe then, or deluxe size.
Yeah, that robot mode is Generations Rat Trap, but the Beast mode is the actual original Beast Wars Rat Trap.
Okay.
No, my bad. Shut my mouth. That is Generations Rat Trap.
Fair enough. So yeah, maybe we're not looking at a Legend scale, but more like maybe he's Legend scale if he's massive. But it looks like an impressive little figure, regardless.
That looks amazing. I've got the original Beast Wars Scorponok toy, and it looks nothing like the TV animation model. And this looks absolutely amazing. When we were looking at it before, I was telling Jason I thought this is just like a fan mode or a fan custom mode, but this looks amazing, and I can't wait to replace my Scorponok with a proper looking Scorponok.
Yeah, I've always liked Scorponok's TV design, and one of the things was it looks nice and tangible that you could take it out the screen and turn it into a solid figure without too much messing around, and I think that's what Transform Element have done with this one.
Yeah, this looks completely amazing.
Sounds good. There's a couple of good ticks for that. So, Bradley, you're interested in purchasing Daria?
Probably not, because I just don't third party very often.
Mm-hmm. Not going to have a party in the third in your ISO party.
Well, that, because so many of my purchases are usually done through places that don't have third parties, so it doesn't sort of pop up on my radar as much.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can look at it and say it's an impressive looking figure, especially for what it is, but not a Beast Wars person, as I said a few times.
Yeah, we've still got to get you to watch the Beast Wars cartoon.
You know, and honestly, people are like, oh, you should be watching it in ISO. Like, you got plenty of time. I actually don't. I'm really busy.
Yeah. I mean, you're still working.
yeah. I'm just busy. But, Yeah. All right, let's move on. New Age Toys is hitting the news a couple of times tonight. So New Age is making a masterpiece scale figure. It's their first foray into that scale. And we are looking at a masterpiece version of, is it Dark of the Moon Soundwave?
Is it? I thought it was Jazz.
Is he Jazz or Soundwave? Oh, sorry, I thought it was Soundwave, but no, maybe it is Jazz.
Well, Jazz is silver and Soundwave is white, so there's that.
It's a Mercedes. I thought Soundwave was the Mercedes.
Oh, maybe
Oh, it
I'm wrong.
must be Soundwave then, because that's
there's
Ravage.
Ravage. Yeah, so sorry, I'm just wrong.
It is Soundwave.
Yeah. It's Dark of the Moon Soundwave.
Yeah, it's just I just got the color wrong and then plateaued.
It's fine. It's fine. Like, we're all confused because they all look the same.
Well, they do, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, this is part of my lack of interest in getting the figure because third-party otherwise they just don't really indulge in movie figures.
Unfortunately, correct. Also, Laserbeak appears to be a turkey.
He was in the Dark of the Moon.
Laserbeak did indeed appear to be a turkey, so yeah, that I got to give them points for accuracy if nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Age of Extinction where he attacked the lab, wasn't it?
No, Dark of the Moon because it was the third one with Shire in it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Anyway,
Attacked the place where Shire worked, and he also turned into a
stuff
pink.
happened in the movie.
Yeah, stuff all happened in the movie.
So look, New Age has a fantastic pedigree at making tiny transformers. It is really interesting to see them move up to masterpiece scale and do it with a movie bot. So all of their engineering prowess is going to be thrown at this one, and we'll see what the finished result is like. He definitely looks like he's got a huge amount of detail in him, and you know, like look at that alt mode. That is a car. You've made a car that transforms into a robot. Well done.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like it's got interior.
Like a decent model car.
That's right.
So, Jason, is this on your must-get list?
No, unless it comes out and it's just amazing, and it doesn't really. I can't really think of a shelf that it's going to fit on.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And in fact, that picture you're showing us now is illustrating part of many of our problems with the movie figures. In that's just one massive grey and bent silver, and I honestly can't tell where some characters begin and end.
Well, I mean, I can tell that we're looking at Megatron, Barricade, Starscream, and Soundwave, right?
Barricade's in there?
Isn't that Barricade on the right, the black one? Is that not Barricade?
Oh, wait, I can see the police door, but he blends so well into Megatron.
Yeah,
because... no, but I mean, like, he's black, right? Like, Megatron's silver. Like, there's an obvious character there. But sure.
Well, you're wearing glasses, so you got better vision than me.
I also can't tell if these are the Hasbro figures with the New Age one lined up in front of it, or if this is New Age saying that they're going to do all these figures.
That Starscream doesn't look Hasbro-y.
You sure he doesn't look like the new masterpiece? No, well, they wouldn't have been able to get him for a photo shoot, would they? Who knows? We'll find out. There's a few more pretty photos. Yeah. All right.
Well, that was a good photo, even if you're not a fan of the figures.
Yeah. That was really well done. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We are sticking with New Age. New Age has turned their attention to another classic G1 character in Reflector. They are selling a 3-pack of figures because that does allow them to put the price up. So three figures of Reflector. They're all the same. And as you can see, it is already available for pre-order. I don't think it's in stock. It's coming in stock this month, apparently. It is available on RoboToys for $130. I'm a big fan of New Age figures. I didn't want to get their Outback and Brawn because I already have other figures of them, but I'm still tempted by them. This is the 3 of them put together into camera mode. That's a photo of them from a convention appearance or a showroom. They look fantastic. New Age's engineering prowess at that size scale is just fantastic. I'm really looking forward to getting these guys. I haven't ordered them yet, but I'm probably about to. However, being New Age, there's a couple of different color variations, right? So, just in case the G1 cartoon color scheme is not doing it for you, there's a transparent version.
Yeah, for when he was invisible, of course.
Yes. Although, did any of the reflector bots make it into the movie? Were they cast out? No. Who knows why they're a ghost? And there's also, and honestly, this is probably the one I'll get.
The G1 toy.
Yeah. They're like these look good, especially also in that they've customized the chest pieces for each of them as well. Really like that. May end up buying both. We'll see how it goes.
Just looking at that one.
Sorry?
I'm getting nostalgic just looking at that one.
I know, right? But, so, as Bradley was saying, I got the toy colored Siege Refractor Reconnaissance 3-pack as well. Really like that too. And these are just in a different size, so they're not the same toy at all. Also, the head is quite different too.
And this lot are missing a trick because they could also color him like Scrapface from Netflix.
Well, so the one on the right kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
Actually, let's get close. Yeah.
It kind of does. Like, I wonder if they've sort of just like taken the opportunity to do it both ways. So yes, look, that's the news of that's the pandemic news for the last couple of months. It's been a quiet time for us and Transformers reporting news and everything. We've already gone through some new acquisitions. I don't have any new acquisitions either. Does anyone have anything to add before we bring the show to an
end? There's been a couple of 2-packs from, I think, Siege or Earthrise that are looking to be quite good. We're getting the customary now repaints of Starscream into Skywarp and Thundercracker, which are looking pretty good.
That's right. Now, is that? Can you hold him up again, just for effect there? Thanks. Is that an exclusive pack overseas? I think that was an exclusive for someone.
I think it's a retail exclusive for America. Target. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's going to be like a regular retail release.
It's probably not going to be impossible for us to get. Like importers will probably get it, but also, like I would say. If you recall the panic that ensued when Target released Red Wing last year, and now Red Wing is available everywhere. Yeah,
he's a shelf warmer everywhere.
So I would say don't panic and don't necessarily go paying more than the price of 2 Voyagers for these figures. You will probably be able to get them.
Yeah, and the other 2-pack that was, I think, was only just mentioned or cited in a system today or yesterday was Earthrise, Prowl, and Ironhide.
That's right. Yes, we're unclear whether or not we're getting a new Ironhide mold in this 2-pack. Although being a double pack, it's probably unlikely. But it might just be a new paint job. We'll see.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd be a bit miffed if. Actually, I wouldn't really mind getting a new Ironhide, but at the same time, I'm quite happy with. There he is.
Look, it's not.
Prowl.
Yeah, but so we've also put Siege smokescreen up against the Earthrise smokescreen pictures and decided the Earthrise one looks better. So the Earthrise Prowl using that new mold will be great.
Oh yeah, of course.
But haven't seen anything that could really become an Earth van.
Can we go back to the 3 mode?
The 3 mode.
We're not on split screen.
Oh right, yes, sure. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to give Brad too much of a boring editing job.
That's okay. No one really watches the video anyway. So a new Prowl using that smoke train mold will be nice. I don't know if there'll be a new Ironhide mold though. Hasbro has debuted molds in the multi-packs before, so maybe there's an Ironhide waiting for us, or maybe there's a Ratchet or something waiting for us later on in Earthrise as well. We do seem to be getting to the point where we're getting more regular refreshes and redos of these figures in different modes. So maybe I just my gut says it's probably just going to be a repaint of the Cybertron mode Ironhide.
I'm hoping so, because I'm a little bit peeved with having to replace my Cybertron Siege Pyramid Seekers with the Earth mode already. You know, like...
I mean, you don't have to.
Yes, I do. It's just a bit... I think this is the first time it's happened for me where I've sort of gone all out. Like, I bought the Decepticon Phantom Strike Squadron just to get Skywarp. And now it's like, oh, well, here you go. You can have the version that you probably originally wanted. It's just going to be released, in a 2-pack. I don't know.
Yeah. So have you got all 8 of the Siege Seekers?
No, I only went with the original 3. I haven't got Red Wing.
I do have Thundercracker sitting here. Like, I really like Siege Thundercracker. I just really like the blue on him. I can't really be bothered getting the others.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I got the Decepticon Phantom Strike Squadron and the 2 little, I've still got the little mini guys here because I can't really think of any way to put them or anyone to put them with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I find with the little guys like that is that when you turn them into like weapon mode, it's just obviously a figure holding another figure that's in a weapon mode instead of it really looking like a weapon.
Well, the thing is, though, it's really cool because you can put them with it works. I know I've got it to work before. You put it with Hoist and give him like a really demonic weapon arm. Wow, he's blending into my house.
When I've seen him in action in Earth Wars, I'm going, so these guys turn into swords and clubs and axes and things. So one of their comrades is slamming them against their enemy every time they go into battle. Like, that can't be good.
It's the kind of thing that doesn't really hold up to much scrutiny, right?
I mean, the gun guys, at least, they're just being held. But someone like
they like to be held and comforted.
He's got to have like 28 robo-concussions a day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've
got a harder head than Scorponok.
Yeah.
It's made out of that black box material that you put in aircraft. Okay, I think we really are done now. Before we end the show, I will just point out that Bot Shots is back. I have failed by not bringing up any of the Bot Shots winners that we've had on this podcast this week, so we will do them. We will take a look at them on the next one.
Whenever that's going to be.
I also I did want to do something else with the show. That's fine. We'll do that next time as well. Bot Shots is back in the TCCA discussion group on Facebook. It is the pandemic edition, so while Bot Shots is it's the Home Alone edition. While you would normally be encouraged to take your figures out and about into the real world and get them off the shelves and take them out and make some funny photos of them in like shopping centers, etc., don't do that. We would like you to take a photo of your robots somewhere around your own house. Well, might you say that this might limit your choices, but I say it just encourages your creativity.
Exactly.
So please do come along, have a go at it. There will be a prize waiting for us at the end of the year. If lockdown is lifted, then Bot Shots will become a standard out and about mode, but we'll see what happens with that.
I was going to say the grand prize should be a toy of lockdown or Peru.
That's actually a really good idea, and I'm going to suggest it to Simon.
I dig that.
Yeah.
All right. So that is it for the week. If you're listening or watching, thank you very much for sticking with us. We're sorry it's been so long since trips to the well, but yeah, and what are you going to do? It's a pandemic. Thank you for listening, everyone. You'll find out more about these stories in links in the show notes, and you can get in touch with us in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. The official site is transformersweekly.podbean.com for the podcast and transformerscca.com for the club's website. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. It's a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers who donate their time and money to make the club and life and lockdown better for everyone. We want to connect Transformers. We want to collect Transformers fans as well. We want to connect Transformers fans around the country by engaging the collecting community. It's hard to do that during a pandemic, so please spread the word and invite friends to come and join us. Bradley, tell us how to find you on Twitch.
You can find me at twitch.tv/groovyguy0069 or lowercase and then 0069. Just look for the big pair of legs that are twitching. I think, is that the slogan that we decided on for me?
Yeah, or just look for the big pair of legs with the beard between them at this growth rate. But yes,
Well,
I said beard, not merkin. But yeah,
yeah, he said beard. And
right.
yeah, come find me on Twitch and say hi.
Daria, we don't have anything listed in the podcast for self-promotion for yourself, but would you like to do a spiel of where people can find you?
Oh, thank you. Yes, they can find me on Podsploitation, the Ozploitation podcast, podsploitation.podbean.com, or just punch in Podsploitation to Facebook, or Not So Giant Women, a Steven Universe podcast, anchor.fm/Not So Giant Women, or again, Not So Giant Women on Facebook.
Awesome. You can find me in Transformers Collectors Club Australia, or find me on Twitter at JM77. Thank you for listening, everyone. That's all from us, and we'll be back with more Transformers news. We say this every time. Next week, at least
we'll be back. At
least I'll put a question inflection on it this time.
What if we just say we'll be back next time?
What if we just say that the title is like a tribute to Australian Women's Weekly, which has been monthly since before I was born?
This is true.
Yeah, there we go.
It's also very accurate, and that was one of the most amusing things about renaming the podcast from its original name of Off the Shelf, was that we could channel the wonderful Maggie Tabra. All right, that's it from us, everyone, and we'll be back with more Transformers news next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Toodle Pipski.